What's up, guys? Dan Henry here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about ACT frameworks. Now, this is the absolute bedrock, the foundation of what we do to get results, okay? That's results for our own business, that's results for our client's business, that's results in general. This is how we get leads and sales for local business or our business. This is how we support. This is what we're going to do to build better lives. Because if we build better lives for others, they pay us, which allows us to build a better life. It's a win-win. Okay. So just to remind you, if you don't remember what ACT stands for, it stands for attract, capture, and transform. So we attract a prospect through an advertisement. We capture their contact information. We then transform that contact information into a sale. Now, if you're running a client base, or if you're running an ad agency and you're working with clients, then a little bit more accurate of a way to look at this would be attract, capture, and transfer. So you attract with an ad, you capture the contact information, and then you transfer that contact information to your client as quickly as possible so that they can make an appointment, make a sale, make a phone call, whatever it is, okay? So let's start looking at some ACT frameworks. So the first one is what I call the old school funnel framework, okay? It's the old school funnel framework. Now what this is it is the way, and the reason why I call this the old school funnel framework is because A, it's old, B, everybody this is exactly how everybody used to do it, and C, a lot of people still do it this way, and I don't know why, because it's super old, and it's like the least effective. I don't recommend this way, but just to explain it so you understand, you have a Facebook ad offering, a voucher for a free week or a this or a that or a download or whatever, and then over here you have a two-step funnel. Now we use ClickFunnels as our landing page software. If you're using something like Lead Pages or OptimizePress or something like that, then then you probably already know different ways to use this. And I won't be getting into the technical aspects of using those other softwares. I use ClickFunnels. Most of our students use ClickFunnels, and it's what I recommend. So if you use a different software than this, you'll have to figure it out for yourself. But this right here is the main funnel software we use. And so you'll have a two-step web page or funnel where, so hey, enter your name and email to get this thing, and then there's a thank you page behind it, okay? So at this point, then we take that name, email, phone number, and we email our client the information. Now, why is this no good? It's no good because the bottom line here is the quicker you can call a lead, the more likely it is you'll make a sale, make an appointment, get them to come in. So if you're a realtor and you call your leads 3 hours later, it's highly unlikely that you're going to actually get an appointment to meet at a house or whatever. If you call within 15 minutes, it's extremely likely. All right. If somebody is looking for a house, that's the thing on their mind right then and there. But then if an hour goes by and, the dog takes a crap on the floor or something like that, now they're worried about finding a shampooer or shampooing and getting the stains out of the carpet. They're not worried about that other thing. So you got to get them, you got to strike while the iron is hot. So if we send an email, two things are going to happen. Number one, it can take anywhere from a couple minutes to 30 minutes for an email to be sent. As well, you have to set up email in ClickFunnels, and there's a bunch of technical steps. And if you're not technically savvy, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So you have to set up a bunch of technical steps to send an email. Okay, so number one, you got to be a tech wizard. Number two, you're not going to your client's not going to get their lead for up to 30 minutes, and then when they get their lead, they might miss it because it's in their email box. They don't check their email every 5 minutes, so the chances of them checking their email and calling them right away is slim to none. This is an extremely ineffective way to get your client to call their leads right away. And the number one way you're going to make more money is to get your clients to call their leads faster, okay? And that brings us to the next framework, and that's the text funnel framework. It's the same exact thing. The only difference is we're going to take this information and we're going to get it right to the client's phone so that they can call their lead right away. Okay. And again, that's how you're going to get them more results and make them more money. If they call their lead right away, they have especially within 15 minutes, they have like 1,000 times more chance of getting them to make a reservation at their restaurant, make an appointment to look at a house, make an appointment to come in for a personal training session, whatever it is they're doing, much, much, much higher. Okay. And the beautiful part about this is if you take two agencies side by side, and the first agency is getting $20 leads, but they're getting the information to their client's phone. And the second agency is getting dollar leads, but they're doing the old email version. The first agency will get far better results for their clients, far higher ROI, and their client will be much happier. Trust me on this. So with that said, how do we get the information to our client's phone? Well, there's 3 ways, and I label them as hard, easier, and easiest. So let's first look at the hard way. The hard way is we integrate a company called Twilio, or a software called Twilio SMS, into ClickFunnels. Now, this is hard because, again, it takes a little bit, not as much tech knowledge as setting up email, but it does take some tech knowledge into properly setting up Twilio, integrating it into ClickFunnels, and getting it to send to the right, client and all this stuff. And it's very limited, okay? So as well, you got to pay for Twilio as well. It's not expensive. That's not really the issue. Really, once you have one client, you've more than paid for any tool you need for this business. So it's not really about price, but it's still the hardest. It's not terribly hard. If you're technically savvy, then this wouldn't be that hard for you. But let me show you an easier option. So an easier option is to use ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is about, for what we would need here, it's about $50 a month. We can integrate it with ClickFunnels, and we can, in a nice, clean drag and drop editor, we can schedule text and send it to the client. And I do have, I can provide a video on how to set that up. But again, it does require some tech knowledge. It does require some know-how. And some people do kind of screw it up sometimes, especially if you're new. And I want to make it as easy as possible for you to get results and not make this a headache for you. So let's talk about the easiest option. The easiest option is to use Lead Owl. Now, full transparency, Lead Owl is my company. It's my software company. I own it. But the reason it's mine is because I created it because these two options right here were too hard. So I created this option to be the easiest possible solution. With Lead Owl, it takes literally like 10 seconds to integrate into ClickFunnels. Anybody can do it. It's literally the easiest thing in the world. It requires zero tech knowledge, zero learning curve, zero. And it does everything I just mentioned automatically and more. It will, all you'll do is in Lead Owl, you'll actually onboard, you'll just add your client's name, email, and phone number in your Lead Owl app. It'll instantly onboard them into their own version of the Lead Owl app under you as the agency. And whenever a lead comes in, it will instantly notify them. It will also remind them at a 15-minute, 60-minute, and 1-day interval to remember to call their leads. And it will allow them to see how fast their response time is and have a complete CRM, or basically a lead management system, right on their phone. Like, this software is designed specifically to help you call your leads back, remind you to call your leads back, and keep track of your leads. So if you use Lead Owl with in this whole setup, it's going to get your clients amazing results. I've been before we launched Lead Owl to the public, I used it for my business and my clients, and it made the biggest freaking difference on the planet. My clients absolutely love it. Many of my students use it and they rave about it, and their clients rave about it. Everybody loves it. It's the best option because I literally designed it to be the best option. So I'm not telling you that because I'm trying to sell you on it. I'm telling you that because it was designed with all of this in mind, and that's what it does. So next, so that right there is what I would recommend, my go-to recommend. Now, there are some other options as well I'd like to show you. So you can also do the lead ad framework. Now, let's say you don't want to use ClickFunnels. You don't want to use any landing page software at all. Another thing you could do is you could do a Facebook ad, and then you could go to what's called a Facebook lead form. And that's where you create the two-step mini funnel page directly on Facebook. And it looks like this. It'll say like, where should we send your voucher? Enter your, it'll say email, full name, and phone number, and then a thank you, right? And the thing about this is it's not very customizable. This is pretty much all you can do with it, all right? But because people stay on the Facebook website, when people see this ad and they click learn more and this pops up right on the Facebook ad website, it does tend to have a higher conversion rate, meaning more people that click this button here end up actually entering in their contact information, all right? So there's pros and cons, but honestly, for most local businesses, this is just fine, okay? One issue, though, that I've heard in the past and that I've had in the past with these lead ads is that some people say they are lower quality leads. And the reason for that is because they're not easy to get a hold of. They don't connect to anything very easily, and there's some tech required to get them to connect. So when you do that, it takes so long. When you used to be able to do that, it takes so long to get the information to your client that the leads, it's not that the leads are bad, it's that it just takes too long to get a hold of them, okay? So what we did with LeadOwl was we actually made a native Facebook lead ad integration, which means you can run this ad, you can do a lead ad right here, and you can go directly into your LeadOwl, which would then go to your client's phone, okay? So you can actually do this and not even need a funnel or website software. You can literally just do Facebook and LeadOwl. The only tool you would need would be LeadOwl. The only paid tool you would need would be LeadOwl. So you got your Facebook ad, you go to a Facebook lead form, which then ties into LeadOwl and goes to your client's phone. Again, I'm going to show you the technical step-by-step of how to create these different frameworks, but I'm just showing them. I'm giving you an overview today. Now, next, I'm going to show you how you can do some stuff that has nothing to do with the phone and still works pretty well as long as your client is, participating. I find going to the phone and using LeadOwl to remind them is the best, because even if a client is not so good at calling their leads back, LeadOwl is going to keep reminding them so that they'll call them back. But let me show you the next one. The next one is the bot framework. And that's where basically we set up a Facebook ad, which then goes to a chat bot. I'm sure you guys have heard of chat bots recently. Basically, it's like automated messaging and interactive messaging with Facebook. And the one I use is ManyChat. And then at this point, it would go to some sort of conversation, and notify somebody on the, for instance, you could like take people to a chatbot, ask them a few questions about their health, and then notify an admin at the gym to, hey, somebody's mentioned that they want to come into the gym, please answer them. And so then they go into this messenger box and they talk with the client or the prospect, and they get them to come into the gym. Okay, so for instance, if you're running ads for a local gym, you might say, hey, get 30 days free at our gym. They then click through, they go to a messenger bot. The messenger bot asks them about their health, asks them some qualifying questions, and then the bot alerts somebody at the gym to go and talk to them so that they can schedule them to come in. Or the bot may actually give them a phone number and say, hey, click here to call and schedule your appointment with the gym. This is all good and well, but I find that it's better to just get somebody human talking to the lead. Chatbots, I rarely use chatbots for local businesses. I more use them for like the advanced businesses like coaching and webinars and things like that. But for local business, I don't do that. So let me show you an easier version for this. So this is the Quick Messenger framework. And this is where we have a Facebook ad. And when they click on the send message, it literally just opens that person's messenger. Okay. And it'll say like, hi, Dan, what questions do you have about Gracie Spring Hill? When that person responds, the owner of the gym or whoever's managing their Facebook messenger will see that response, and then they will be able to go in and have a conversation with the prospect. So basically, instead of using a bot and going through all this crazy stuff and having to set that up, and there is a bit of a technical knowledge, with this, we literally just have to get them to ask a question, and then, we can, our client can respond to them and, kind of build a little bit of rapport over Messenger, then say, hey, how about you come in? They can schedule an appointment right over Messenger, or they can get them on the phone, whatever it is. So a practical example of this would be, for instance, this ad, wondering if BJJ is right for your kids, want to get info on our class schedules and price. They send a message, and then here it says, hey, Dan, what questions do you have about Gracie Spring Hill? I might say, hey, I have a 10-year-old. How much are classes? What days? And then we carry out the conversation over Messenger. I give them that information, and I say, why don't you come in on Wednesday for a free class? Okay, we'll be there. Something like that. Now, of these frameworks, I want to say two things. Number one, these are all very simple and easy frameworks that work for local business. If you're looking for frameworks for things like webinars and coaching and e-commerce, that's a totally different thing. It's still the ACT framework, but it's much more involved and technical. You're not going to get paid really any more by those type of businesses than you would by a local business. And a local business is 100 times easier to run with these frameworks. So that's what I'm covering in this video, is frameworks that work for local businesses. Okay. You also can adapt a lot of these to things like coaching and stuff like that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, easy businesses, easy clients, local business, stuff like that. So out of these frameworks, the two that I would recommend that I think are the best are the text funnel framework with LeadOwl and the Quick Messenger framework with no chatbot, just a Facebook Messenger button. Those are the two I recommend if you're a beginner. And if you're not a beginner, then you can use whatever you want, but I still don't recommend the old school funnel framework. I don't like that one. Anyway, guys, that is the ACT frameworks, and this is, again, the bedrock of what you're going to be doing. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do all this stuff, but this right here is the foundation. All right, I am excited to see your success with this program.